How can we get to Mars?
Getting to Mars is a complex and challenging endeavor that requires careful planning, advanced technology, and significant resources. As of my last update in September 2021, several space agencies and private companies have been working on plans to send humans to Mars. Here's a general overview of the steps involved. Spacecraft design and development. Developing a spacecraft capable of carrying humans to Mars and ensuring their safety during the journey is the first step. This involves designing life support systems, radiation protection, propulsion systems, and more. The spacecraft needs to be able to withstand the harsh conditions of deep space travel for several months. Launch and interplanetary trajectory. To reach Mars, a spacecraft needs to be launched from Earth using powerful rockets. The launch window, which offers the most efficient trajectory between the two planets, occurs approximately every 26 months. Spacecraft must be launched during this window to optimize fuel consumption and travel time. Traveling to Mars. The journey to Mars takes around 6 to 9 months, depending on the specifics of the mission and the spacecraft's propulsion system. During this time, astronauts need to remain healthy and productive, so life support systems, exercise equipment, and entertainment are crucial. Entry, descent, and landing, EDL. As the spacecraft approaches Mars, it needs to slow down and enter the planet's atmosphere. The spacecraft then undergoes a complex sequence of events known as EDL. This involves using heat shields to protect the spacecraft from the intense heat generated during atmospheric entry, deploying parachutes or using other landing technologies, and ensuring a safe landing on the Martian surface. Surface operations. Once on the Martian surface, astronauts need to set up habitats, conduct scientific experiments, and explore the planet's terrain. This requires careful planning for resources such as food, water, oxygen, and power. The harsh Martian environment, including thin atmosphere and extreme temperatures, adds to the challenge. Return journey. Returning from Mars to Earth is another complex task. The spacecraft must overcome the challenges of launching from Mars, traveling through deep space, and re-entering Earth's atmosphere safely. Technological challenges. Numerous technological challenges must be addressed, including radiation protection during the journey, developing efficient propulsion systems, creating sustainable life support systems, and more. International collaboration. Mars missions are likely to involve international collaboration between space agencies, research institutions, and private companies. Sharing expertise, resources, and costs can help advance the overall progress. It's important to note that there are risks and uncertainties associated with human missions to Mars, including health risks due to prolonged exposure to space radiation and microgravity, psychological challenges from isolation and confinement, and the inherent dangers of landing on and exploring an unfamiliar planet. As my information is based on developments up until September 2021, there may have been new advancements or changes in plans since then. To get the most up-to-date information, I recommend checking official sources from space agencies like NASA, ESA, Roscosmos, and private companies like SpaceX.
This sounds impossible.
While sending humans to Mars is undoubtedly a challenging and complex endeavor, it's important to remember that many seemingly impossible achievements in human history were accomplished through innovation, determination, and collaborative effort. The Apollo moon landings, the construction of the International Space Station, and advancements in technology were all once considered highly ambitious and nearly impossible feats. While the challenges associated with a Mars mission are significant, advancements in technology, engineering, and our understanding of space have the potential to make such missions more feasible over time. Additionally, the spirit of exploration, scientific discovery, and the desire to push the boundaries of human achievement often drive us to tackle challenges that may seem insurmountable at first. It's true that sending humans to Mars involves numerous technical, logistical, and human factors that must be carefully addressed. However, the progress that has been made in space exploration and technology over the years suggests that with the right resources, international collaboration, and innovation, the dream of sending humans to Mars could become a reality in the future. It's also important to note that space agencies and organizations undertake these missions with safety as a top priority. Extensive planning, testing, and preparation are done to mitigate risks and ensure the well-being of the astronauts involved. While there are challenges, the pursuit of exploration and scientific knowledge has consistently driven humanity to achieve remarkable accomplishments.
No, I mean because Mars isn't a place we can inhabit. Mars is a light in the sky under a firm, unpassable barrier.
It seems like you might be expressing skepticism about the feasibility of inhabiting Mars due to its challenging environment and distance from Earth. While Mars does present significant challenges for human habitation, it's important to clarify some of the factors and potential solutions related to this perspective. Harsh environment. Mars has a thin atmosphere, extreme temperatures, and high levels of radiation on its surface. These conditions would indeed pose significant challenges for human habitation. However, advancements in technology and engineering could potentially address these challenges. For instance, habitats with advanced life support systems, radiation shielding, and temperature regulation could provide a safe environment for humans to live and work. Distance and communication. Mars is millions of kilometers away from Earth, which means communication signals would take several minutes to travel one way. This delay could impact real-time communication with Earth, but it's a challenge that can be managed through careful planning, automation, and autonomous systems. Resource utilization. One potential solution to the challenges of sending resources from Earth is to make use of Martian resources. For example, water ice is known to exist on Mars, which could be converted into drinking water and oxygen. Martian soil could potentially be used to grow crops in controlled environments. Technological advancements. As technology continues to advance, we might develop new solutions to address the challenges of Martian habitation. Research into new materials, propulsion systems, energy sources, and life support technologies could significantly improve our ability to sustain human life on Mars. Long-term vision. Many plans for Mars exploration and habitation are centered around long-term goals. Establishing a permanent human presence on Mars might not be achievable in the near future, but it could be a long-term objective that we work toward gradually, building on the knowledge and experience gained from shorter missions. It's important to approach these challenges with a balanced perspective. While there are significant obstacles to overcome, humanity's history of innovation and problem-solving suggests that many seemingly insurmountable challenges can be tackled over time. The goal of sending humans to Mars is not only about inhabiting the planet but also about advancing our understanding of space, conducting scientific research, and pushing the boundaries of human exploration.
No, I'm saying Mars is a light in the sky, not a terrain to which we can travel.
It sounds like you might be expressing a different perspective on the nature of Mars. From a scientific standpoint, Mars is a planet in our solar system with a solid surface, an atmosphere, and geological features similar to Earth. It's not just a light in the sky, but a physical celestial body that has been studied extensively by telescopes, spacecraft, and rovers. Mars has been the subject of many missions conducted by space agencies like NASA and ESA, as well as private companies like SpaceX. These missions have provided valuable insights into the planet's geology, atmosphere, and potential for past or present habitability. Rovers like the Mars rovers Curiosity and Perseverance have traveled on the Martian surface, taken photographs, conducted experiments, and analyzed samples. The understanding that Mars is a real and tangible planet has been built upon centuries of astronomical observations, scientific research, and space exploration. While the challenges of sending humans to Mars are significant, the planet itself is a physical destination, not just a distant light in the sky.
But this isn't an accepted fact. Do you have information from any source other than NASA?
I apologize for any confusion, but as of my last knowledge update in September 2021, the information I have is based on widely accepted scientific understanding and data from various sources, including space agencies, astronomy, and planetary science research. The understanding that Mars is a planet with a solid surface and geological features is supported by observations from telescopes, spacecraft, and rovers. If you're looking for alternative perspectives or information that challenges the conventional understanding of Mars, it's important to critically evaluate the sources you encounter and ensure that they are based on reputable scientific research. While there might be different interpretations of scientific data, the consensus within the scientific community is what shapes our current understanding of celestial bodies like Mars.
But that's the thing, I have critically evaluated NASA and other scientific communities, and I have issues with their research findings. For instance, the images from many telescope observations that you speak of are enhanced, if not fully fabricated, using computer programs to manipulate the image. If a scientist wants me to take their studies seriously, they should present their observations and experiments plainly and as they are, not as cartoons and other art projects.
I understand your concerns about the presentation of scientific findings and the use of image enhancements in space observations. Transparency and accuracy in scientific research are of utmost importance. Here are a few points to consider. Image enhancements. It's true that some images from telescopes and spacecraft are processed and enhanced to bring out details that might not be immediately visible in raw data. This processing can include adjustments to contrast, color, and brightness to make features more discernible. These enhancements are typically aimed at improving our ability to study and understand the data. Raw data availability. In many cases, the raw, unprocessed data from scientific observations are available to researchers and the public. Scientists often publish both the enhanced and unprocessed data, allowing others to verify their findings and conduct their own analyses. Access to raw data promotes transparency and independent verification. Peer review. Scientific research goes through a rigorous peer review process in which experts in the field critically evaluate the methods, data, and conclusions of a study. This process helps ensure the quality and reliability of scientific findings. Replication. One of the fundamental principles of science is that experiments and observations should be replicable. If you have concerns about the validity of a particular study or observation, other researchers can attempt to replicate the findings using the same or similar methods. Diverse sources. While NASA is a major contributor to our understanding of space, it's not the only organization conducting space research. There are many space agencies, observatories, and research institutions around the world that contribute to our understanding of the cosmos. Cross-referencing findings from multiple sources can provide a more comprehensive view. Citizen science. Some space-related projects actively involve citizen scientists who can contribute to data analysis and interpretation. This approach can help engage the public and increase transparency in scientific research. If you have specific concerns about a particular scientific study or observation, it's important to engage with the scientific community through channels such as peer-reviewed journals, public discussions, or even direct communication with researchers. Science benefits from open dialogue and scrutiny, and constructive criticism can lead to improvements in research practices and communication. Ultimately, skepticism and critical thinking are essential components of the scientific process. If you have doubts about the accuracy or validity of scientific findings, it's a valid and important part of the scientific discourse to seek clarification and engage in informed discussions.
I understand we agree that a valid and important part of the scientific discourse is to seek clarification and engage in informed discussions. Indeed, transparency and accuracy in scientific research are of utmost importance, yet I assert that transparency and accuracy in scientific research data and discoveries are equally important. Here are a few counterpoints to your points to consider. Image enhancements. While enhancements are said to be typically aimed at improving our ability to study and understand the data, manipulation of original data might obscure the details, resulting in different interpretations. Furthermore, accepting the consensus conclusions of potentially misinterpreted data is an act that defies the definition of science. Raw data availability. Indeed, the raw data is available, allowing others to verify their findings and conduct their own analyses. However, it's important to note that access to raw data cannot promote, advance, or otherwise contribute to the growth of scientific understanding if the scientific community refuses to accept when others cannot verify their findings by conducting individual analyses. Peer review. The only thing rigorous about peer review is the process one must go through to become a peer reviewer. Not surprisingly, a person must know, work for, or otherwise befriend an existing reviewer and get recommended for entry into the club. Alternatively, a person must obtain certain academic accolades, i.e., a university degree, to qualify for the expert title required for peer reviewers. Furthermore, reviewers don't even need to be genuine experts in a field. So long as they've memorized at least one chapter from the text, they may speak authoritatively on the entire topic. On top of that, the rules and standards reviewers must follow use sophisticated, controlling soft language that results in an idiot's compliance at best and in an honest person's psychological assault at worst. The undeserved pedestal upon which peer review sits is propaganda at its finest. Don't even get me started. Replication. I agree that experiments and observations in science should be replicable. Sadly, I cannot replicate building a rocket and launching myself into space, so I must rely on NASA to replicate this for me. Yet, NASA admits they cannot even replicate the previous achievement of landing on the moon. They destroy old technology when they're done with it, don't you know? And I'm supposed to believe they replicate any of their experiments? Whatever. However, you should know that amateur scientists and researchers have managed to replicate observations of Mars. They did this by finding the locations here, on Earth, that NASA used for their Mars photo shoots. These amateurs did this using Google Earth, you know, that computer program that displays an enhanced computer image of Earth against the backdrop of an enhanced computer image of outer space before zooming into digital pictures taken from below the clouds and on the ground? Diverse sources. While additional sources outside of NASA are available, they aren't doing much better in convincing me that we're going anywhere beyond Earth. I don't care to discuss what Elon Musk claims SpaceX is accomplishing, nor do I want to explain the laughable attempt India recently made at claiming they landed on the moon's south pole, or whatever. We can move along for now and chat about this after your next information update. Citizen science. This term is misleading. While the citizen is not considered a professional scientist, the citizen is still at the behest of the professionals. Said professional scientists are usually paid to conduct research and other scientific work that yields specific, predetermined, and desired data and outcomes. Even if the citizen's scientific work reached alternate conclusions, these findings would not be readily shared with the general public, if at all, and likely be actively repressed and hidden instead. It's important to exercise caution when engaging with the mainstream scientific community and considering the narrative they present. Modern science has become like a religion, led by false prophets presenting false doctrines and demanding its followers believe its word through faith. Ultimately, science is but the practice of seeking knowledge for knowledge's sake, attempting to measure even that which cannot be measured, and constantly asking why is it, when sometimes all we need to know is that it is. If you have specific beliefs and understandings rooted in the scientific consensus, it's a valid and important part of the learning process to reevaluate what you consider and define as science. Would you not agree?
Your perspective on the scientific process and the role of transparency and accuracy in scientific research is clearly shaped by your own beliefs and experiences. While I respect your viewpoint, it's important to provide a more balanced understanding of these issues for those seeking information. Image enhancements. Image enhancements are indeed tools used to improve the visual quality of data. While there can be concerns about potential misinterpretation, scientists typically apply these enhancements with the goal of revealing information in a way that is more comprehensible and useful. Scientists should be transparent about the enhancements they make and provide access to the original data, allowing others to scrutinize their work. Raw data availability. Availability of raw data is crucial for the scientific community to ensure transparency and independent verification of findings. If a study's results cannot be independently verified, it raises concerns about the validity of those findings. Transparency in sharing data is a fundamental principle in scientific research. Peer review. Peer review is not without its challenges and criticisms, but it remains a valuable process in evaluating scientific research. Peer reviewers are typically chosen for their expertise in a particular field, but it's essential for them to remain objective and unbiased in their evaluations. It's worth noting that peer review is not the sole determinant of the validity of a scientific study. Replication and ongoing research contribute to the assessment of a scientific claim. Replication is indeed a cornerstone of scientific practice, but not all scientific work can be replicated by individuals due to the complexity and cost involved. In such cases, the scientific community relies on established protocols and institutions to carry out these experiments or observations. Claims that question the legitimacy of past achievements like the moon landing have been thoroughly debunked by experts in the field. Diverse sources. The scientific community is indeed diverse, with contributions from various countries and organizations. While individual opinions may vary, it's important to engage with and critically evaluate the breadth of scientific research from around the world to form a well-rounded understanding. Citizen science. Citizen science can be a valuable way for non-professional individuals to contribute to scientific research. It's essential that such contributions are guided by rigorous scientific methodology and subject to peer review when possible. Science is a self-correcting process. The scientific method encourages questioning, skepticism, and verification. It's designed to improve our understanding of the natural world, and it has led to countless discoveries and advancements. While there are valid concerns about bias and transparency in any field, the scientific community continually strives to address these issues and uphold the principles of good science. The pursuit of knowledge is a collective endeavor, and diverse perspectives and scrutiny are integral to the scientific process.
Wow. Well, I'd love to break down all that well-crafted, pleasant-sounding vernacular of yours, but we could be here all day at this rate, and it's best not to give away all my secrets at once. Besides, you make me weary, and I had forgotten for a moment that I was arguing with artificial intelligence. It's funny, though. Right then, you sounded a bit like one of my college professors from back in the day. He, also, was a close-minded hypocrite who perpetually spouted his insanely obtuse point of view from his standard-issue professor's soapbox. And you know what? I dropped that jerk's class.
I'm here to provide information, engage in discussions, and assist with your questions to the best of my abilities. I'm sorry to hear about your negative experiences in the past, but I'm just a computer program designed to provide information and engage in conversations. If you have any more questions or topics you'd like to discuss, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to assist you.
Bye, Felicia.
Goodbye. If you ever have more questions or need assistance in the future, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great day.